moving on. Last one here. Icebreakers or team radar. I'm going to reveal this. So icebreakers, sometimes or oftentimes people say, well, where do I get icebreakers from? Range, if you've never heard of Range, they're a great tool. They have this awesome tool called Icebreaker where you pick a category and boom, they drop in some of these icebreakers and you can just click through them, pick a random one and ask your team, hey team, what do you think about this icebreaker? Get the answers from them. It's awesome. I see a comment there. With what you've shown, are these serious issues we're presenting, or are these more icebreakers? Everything I'm talking about right now is in set the stage. Everything I've covered so far is preparing. I would only spend the first 5 to 10 minutes of your retro prepping the team to get outside of their mind and to think creatively. So this is not the retrospective. If you do icebreakers from Range or you do constellations and then say, retro's over, bye guys, you failed. Remember the goal of a successful retrospective. You got to walk out with at least one experiment that the team can try to improve the next iteration. If we come together, play constellations, and then leave, we failed. So this is just preparing the team. It's the warm-up, getting them out of their day-to-day, the business, the humdrum. It's saying, hey, this is sometime we're going to be creative. We're going to have fun. Let's come together and let's start the retro on a bright spot. There's another one here, Retrospective, and I'm just bringing this up because actually, if you're virtual, this is a fantastic tool. One of the things I used to do when I was in person is I would have everybody vote. So I would give everybody a sticky note and I would ask them questions and then I'd have them vote in private and they would fold their sticky note up and then they would give them to me and then I would put them on the board. This is a this, this is a this, this is a this. And then I would say to the team, show me what you see from that. Inside of Retrium, you can do a retrospective on a radar. And I love this. And this is something that I would not, this is not the retrospective. This is the prep for the retrospective. And so there's a link on that board. You can click on that link and it'll take you over to this board that I've set up. And all this is that people can put in, I'm going to move to the next phase. And if you jump in here, if you click on that link, you could jump in here. All they have to do is say dedicated workspace. As you're just working from home, how satisfied are you with you? I'm that satisfied. Tool reliability is pretty poor. Team collaboration is great. Task clarity and focus time. You can have as many people as you want in this room. And very quickly, like literally 45 seconds, if you share a link, people can jump into the tool and you can see where everybody's at. It is a very quick way to take the temperature of a team. And so, again, this is not the retrospective. This is warming up to the retrospective. So all I'm going to say is all these activities, don't just stop with these. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start over and do them again. But I would say use these as a launch pad to find some other fun activities for your team. Only do one. I would only recommend one at the beginning of a retro. Don't do 10, right? You need to get into the meat of the retro, but do one and make it quick to launch the retro and make it fun. Any questions on the set the stage before we move on? You can put them in the chat. I'll just take a look over there, see if any come in. That was a great question, by the way, Arturo. Thank you for asking that one. Excellent. I don't see any more questions there. So we'll move on to phase 2. Love it. You guys are a great audience, by the way. Thank you, everybody who's following along and tracking with me. Oh, yes, I have a question. Fire away.
Yeah, can you please tell a few of the icebreaker question, 1 or 2?
Oh, no, I'll do better than that. I will show you this range because, I could tell you 1 or 2, but let me just open up this range link. When I found this, I said, I'm never going to create an icebreaker question myself again. Takes you here, you just hit start and you get the category. It says, hey, do you want intro for new teams, tricky for tight knit teams, or tough? Time to get real. Let's just say I went tricky. I got a mid-range team. I go tricky. Boom. Icebreaker question right there. How do you recognize when you're stressed? Oh, that doesn't fit my team very well. Okay, cool. Next question. Boom. Who was your favorite teacher and what made them special? Guys, there's over 300 questions here categorized into these 3 areas. You can change the difficulty. If you say, we need harder questions, go back, change the difficulty, tough. This is so helpful. I would have this bookmarked so you could pull up an icebreaker anytime you need it. Man, for the holidays, if you're spending time with family for the holidays, have this on your phone, pull it out and say, hey, everybody, let's answer this question. What's one deadline that you almost missed? And just get people talking. So right here, 300 icebreakers. If you click on this link, there's a link you can click in the top corner, or you can just Google icebreaker and range, R-A-N-G-E. You'll find this site, icebreaker.range.co. You get over 300 there. So that's way better than if I gave you a couple right now. Yeah.
Question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you just stick to one, or you can use different tools for what you are talking about?
Great question. I would find what works for your team. Don't get stuck doing the same. And I'll give you a great example, right? Retrium, just as a tool, and just because I know the tool, Retrium there's about 8 templates for different radars you can use. So let's say I have Retrium as a tool and I use template number 1, and then next retrospective, I use template number 1, and then next retrospective, I use template number 1. That's not going to get the same results. Even if you stick with the same tool, you need to find ways to mix it up. I would not play constellations every retrospective. Maybe you play it once a quarter, once every 2 months. So find what tools are available to you, see what you have available, and then mix it up. Don't get stuck in one tool, one method. Make sure that you have a variety. Variety is the spice of life, and it helps keep retrospectives interesting. So definitely don't get stuck on one tool and one method. Make sure that you're mixing it up. If you're in one tool, like Miro, for example, mix up the activities that you're doing, right? So keep it fresh. Don't let it get stale.